All right, everybody, it's time to get back to our top 10 fighters that I want to see in ESBC. And we are picking back up with the light heavyweight division. So, some of these fighters, depending on when you watch this, may have already been announced, but I want to add them anyway. Also, just throwing this out because this is something that came up when I did the last top 10. This is not a top 10 all-time list. And the fighters I'm going to be listing are in random order. All right. So with that out of the way, let's get into it. All right. So first up, ARTUR BETERBIEV. So why wouldn't we really start with BETERBIEV? He is your current WBC and IBF light heavyweight world champion with a record of 15-0 with 15 KOs. Dude is an absolute monster and just seems to punch through everything he comes across. He is an absolute beast, and some people will go as far as to say that Canelo Alvarez gave up the belt that he earned from KOVALEV to avoid this man. Most people do agree that this is the guy to avoid at light heavy. His power is lights out and his stamina is world class. If you asked me who I felt was one of the best light heavies to lace up the gloves, I could easily name EZZARD Charles. At his peak, he was speed, power, and killer instinct. He rampaged middleweight and light heavyweight while only taking 5 losses during that time, and none of those losses came at a less than another world-class fighter. He ended his career with a record of 93, 25, and 1 with 52 KOs. I personally believe that he hung around just a little bit too long after moving up to heavyweight, but real warriors never want to lay down till they just ain't got nothing left. And Charles is the epitome of that. DMITRY BIVOL is the current WBA light heavyweight and the Ring Magazine #2 ranked just behind BETERBIEV. This dude is special in my book. If there was a light heavy that I felt could put that revolutionary footwork system to work in ESBC, BIVOL is it. The dude is a masterpiece in motion. Great feet, great upper body movement, good power, and speed to match. Honestly, like, I could go on for a while about this dude, but all I'll say, and I'll ask Steel City, I really hope y'all get this man in the booth for some motion capture. And if you got him in the game already, hit me up and let me know, because this kid is definitely special and he will be a great addition to the game and will absolutely help to put everything that you guys are putting into this game on display. So next up, Sam Langford. So there is really no conversation talking about top light heavyweights that doesn't really lead back to Sam Langford if you're a boxing enthusiast. So he was an inaugural member of the International Boxing Hall of Fame in 1990 and ended his career with a record of 167, 38, 37 with 117 KOs. This was back in the day when fighters would really mix it up with any and everyone. He started at a low weight class of lightweight and welterweight at the age of 19, and during that time he scored a huge win over another world beater in Joe Gans in a 15-round fight when it was only his second year. I would be super hyped to see Sam Langford's in-game renders right about now. Sergey the Crusher Kovalev, regardless of the things that he has done outside of the ring, his presence and accomplishments in the light heavyweight division can't really go overlooked. He has shared the ring with a legend in Bernard Hopkins, a first-round Hall of Fame selectee in Andre Ward twice. He holds a record of 34, 4-1 with 29 KOs, so you can see why they call him the Crusher. His 4 losses all have come at top level. 2 that came from Ward, 1 against Eleider Alvarez, who was ranked number 7 by most, and his most recent loss was to Canelo Alvarez. I think Cove deserves to be in ESBC. Although some would find him controversial at the moment, power is a pleasing attribute and he brings a lot of it. I don't think you can have a list without Archie Moore if you're talking about light heavyweights. 184, 24, and 10 with 130 KOs. That was his record. He was a world champion from 1952 to 1962 with 9 title defenses. Archie Moore was one of the greatest finishers of all time. If he got you hurt, you probably wasn't getting out of the ring on your own 2 feet. He had an amazing defensive style that only helped to enable his long reign as a champion. While lately, or in the past few years, a lot of attention was given to Bernard Hopkins for his performance in the ring while being over 40. Archie Moore, at close to his mid-40s, fought 10 times in 1 year. The guy just had a freakish type of longevity to him that you just really don't see in a lot of fighters. He's just yet another legend that I can only hope that we get a chance to grace the sticks with when ESBC finally comes out. Joe Smith Jr., former construction worker turned pro fighter. Joe Smith Jr. has a record of 26-3 with 21 KOs. He has also shared the ring with a previous name mentioned on this list in DMITRY BIVOL, and most recently shared the ring and knocked out Eleider Alvarez to put Joe Smith Jr. back into title contention. Joe Smith is a big dude with lots of power and a granite chin. I will go so far as to say his claim to fame, though, was when he put Bernard Hopkins out of the ring and into what seemed to be the darkest spot of the arena that night. It looked like Hopkins fell down a Mario Brothers drain pipe. Like it was just crazy. But nonetheless, get this man's in the game because he is surging right now. Get out of here. Y'all thought I wouldn't mention the fighting Marine Gene Tunney. Record of 61-1-1 with 45 KOs. He was added to the International Boxing Hall of Fame in 1990. And in this case, he was an ad that didn't win a title while active. Gene Tunney was the ultimate victim of time and circumstance. The fights just didn't get made when they needed to, but his body of work was impressive nonetheless. His one loss came at the hands of Harry Greb, which turned out to be his only defeat in over 60 fights. He would later turn around and avenge that loss. Jean Pascal. Now, I have a lot of reasons for why I want to see Pascal in the game. He is maybe one of the biggest characters I have mentioned so far, and if this game has realistic pre- and post-fight press conferences, then I can't wait to see what Pascal has to say. Secondly, he has one of the most oddly unique fighting styles on the list. If ESBC is giving us these fighters as who they are and not a makeshift set of punches and movements, then I can't wait to do a breakdown video and analyze Jean Pascal in game. I can't wait. He's going to frustrate people if they get him in the game the way that he is. I promise you. Michael Spinks. He ended his career with a record of 31-1 with 21 KOs, only losing to none other than Iron Mike Tyson. Spinks was a former middleweight gold medalist who had a crushing right hand that he nicknamed Jinx. He was inducted into the Boxing Hall of Fame in 1994. Sadly, if you Google the name Michael Spinks, you are more than likely going to get a very short video of him being KO'd by Mike Tyson. I mean, what are you going to do? Mike had a way of making memes out of everyone back in them days, so I don't hold it against him. Well, everyone, that is my top 10 list. I would like to add a few honorable mentions, though, something I didn't do in my previous video, and those fighters are Badu Jack and Curtis Superman Stevens. I think they both also really need to be added to the game, especially Badu Jack after going through like almost being axe murdered. Y'all have got to have seen it. It's probably one of the most gruesome things that I've ever seen. Like, the man's head was almost completely like split open in the front. And Curtis Stevens, he climbed back from one of the hardest things that you can do, and that is being hospitalized as a fighter and then being told that you're never going to fight again, nonetheless that you will never walk again. So I think they both really need to be added to the game. So that is it for this list. I will be back with another video real soon. I appreciate you all for catching the video. Please like and subscribe as we continue on this climb to 1K subs, and I will catch you on the next one. Peace.